Hi everyone, it's me Jo, and today I'm bringing you a brand new FAQ video. Oh my god, I'm so excited to do this because I haven't checked in with you guys for so long. It's been a minute and a half since I've actually done an FAQ. I think the last one I did was probably a year and a half ago. So much has changed in that year and a half, I kid you not, because I was not doing YouTube during that time. And we come back to work in July of last year, and it really was like, I guess you could say a fresh start for me, because so much that I've been offered, I said no to during that period, and it really all came down to the fact that I couldn't film as frequently. I really hurt my eye, and my eye was really difficult to kind of negotiate with when you do makeup for other people and you're also filming under these bright lights, because I physically couldn't see through the makeup. And I know this confused so many people, because so many people were like, where is your extravagant makeup looks? Why are you not doing any more of your makeup book? What's going on? Where is the tour? And sometimes things like that happen we can't control, and it's just part of the journey, I guess. But I always believe in a higher power, and I believe that things fall into the way they should be. So I really think that this whole debacle was more so a pause. It was more so a way for me to investigate what it would look like to be in life, I guess you would say, with a more masculine look, because as you guys know from my channel, I never did that look before a couple of years ago. And that was interesting in itself. And I think now I've done that, I'm kind of come to where I am at the moment, and I'm getting rid of the beard again and all that jazz. But it was like a moment where I could say, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is what I definitely do not want to do. And then, of course, I met the Baron. And then the Baron has been so incredibly instrumental in pushing me to come back to speak to you guys more and to do more work, because he thinks that I should be doing so much. So you guys really have to thank him for keeping me up and doing these videos, because I would like to peace out. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I would like to just say, okay, we've done so amazing with this channel. We've climbed the mountain. We saw the view from the top. Why do I want to climb a mountain again? I'd rather do something else. There's just so many different avenues that I want to explore. And I think that for me, it was so important when I started this channel to breach new ground and to try things that weren't already there. It's not as motivating for me to do things now that everyone's got a social media account and everyone's doing the same thing. And I think one of the questions coming up is about Drag Race, which we'll talk about in a minute, but there is so much that I just really don't want to get my hands dirty with again, if you know what I mean. Like, once you've done something, you just don't want to do it again. And I feel sorry for people that are trapped into that kind of mindset where they have to be continually doing the same thing forevermore, because I have to constantly change. I want to breach new lands and new areas and do things that no one like me has done before with this platform, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. So let's jump straight in with the FAQ and we'll go in from there. So I do have an apology. Whilst we were doing the live streams and I gathered all these questions from you guys, we print screened them, and then I've lost the names of some of them. So some of them I will have your names on and some of them won't, but if you guys actually remember asking me them, you can comment in the things below and I'll just say thank you in my next video if that's okay. Okay, this is an unknown question. How has your style changed since you started on YouTube? Now, my style has never changed. I'm pretty much like in my own bubble, if you will, with what I like to look like, what I like to do, what I like to create. I think that really I've got to a point where I'm really comfortable and confident. Sometimes, for example, I know every single time I do a pale blonde hair with big brows, people are always like, oh my god, we like your brows when they're a little bit thinner and paler like they were when you drew them on. Well, I'm now confident enough to say, yep, I've done that. If you like that look, I've got those videos up there from 4 years ago. But I like to do a Madonna tribute today, and I like the picture where she has dark eyebrows. And that's what I'm doing. And I don't have to rely on you guys to kind of validate what I feel and what I choose to express myself like anymore, which I think is such an important difference. Like, before, I was very conscious because it was a new platform. And for some reason, my YouTube videos were never pushed to the front of the queue in terms of, like, it's bizarre now because you can really see the quality difference now. You look back at some of my old videos, and if you're on Instagram, you can check out some on Instagram TV, because I'm taking some of my favorite basic tutorials and popping them up there now and again. So that's going to be the links below. But if you look, for example, at my Freckles for Foundation video, that's a brilliant video, but it's only got, what, 35,000 views on it. And I think because I was grouped into an area that wasn't really relating to makeup, they put me in the LGBTQ area for whatever reason, even though my videos were listed identically to some of the girls, because we swapped details and stuff back in the day. It never put me in that position, and I never got that push that the platform would have given to me had I been a girl. So it's annoying, but it's part of the journey, as I say. And I think that those videos, I was more concerned about what you guys thought, and I was concerned about meeting a good feedback, because they were in an area where people were comfortable saying shady shit. So it was more of a thing I concerned myself with. If this video gets 1 million views or it gets 5 views, I'm still going to be living in a mansion with the Baron. I don't really give a shit anymore. So I'm going to be cool about it at the end of the day. I just want to do things for me, and however I choose to express myself, I guess is the best way of putting it. Okay, so Mina Alina, I hope that's how you say your name, honey. Is it Mina Alina? Said, who do you think should win RuPaul's Drag Race? Now, I don't know if you guys have paid attention to my channel, but I've really kind of diverted my stuff away from drag, and it's partly because of Drag Race. And I don't want to go into this in too much kind of like a negative spin, because I think the platform has been incredible, and so many of my friends that I've got the chance to work with over years have been on the show. I am a huge fan of Matthew Anderson. I think they handled the situation where Matthew was moving the show really badly, and I didn't like the fact that during the whole Emmy submission for the season, the episodes that he was still working up to, they replaced his name in the Emmy submission with people that were brought on afterwards. So I didn't think it was the right thing to do, because Matthew was so instrumental with shooting the trailers and doing Rue's looks, but also coming up with the challenges. And he was a big inspiration, and he had a different energy. And I think that that was a really bizarre and unkind thing to do. And I didn't know why they decided to put the replacement's name onto the Emmy submission, because he would have won the Emmy. Because that was the episode that won the Emmy. So I didn't like it from then. And it's been a bit of a weird situation, because I love the show and I love the opportunity to meet you guys at DragCon, and I was asked to do DragCon again. And I don't know if it's just the dynamic has changed, or it's become such a different, that situation left aside. Something has happened with this whole culture which I really am not on board with, and I don't know what it is, and I can't articulate it, but I can kind of do a stream of consciousness and explain myself a little bit maybe. But I remember when I grew up, before Drag Race was a thing on TV, and the drag community was very intersectioned with transgender people and with androgynous people and with people who didn't have labels, who would be considered non-binary today. So there is a whole kind of hodgepodge and mix of people and the types of people. I would say that 50% of those people had more of a female behaviour. That I'm not saying they were trans women, because I think this is applicable to even some drag queens. But there is a major difference between the way that men and women navigate, and especially when it comes to a art form or a sport. You see this because of all the kind of games we see at the moment with the World Cups on, for example. That's a male kind of created, constructed thing. It's a competitive thing. The crowds are very aggressive. They make very disgusting statements sometimes when they're trying to throw people off and talking about the crowd. And I think that the community as a whole was balanced before, and there was a mix between people that were heavily competitive with drag and people that were more motherly with drag. And it was a different energy. And because there was so much of a diverse mix of people, it balanced. And even though you would get people that would be shady, or you would get people that would be, they would be hyper competitive, or they'd be very catty, you would also get people that would put them in check. And I just associate that with masculine and feminine energy. And the thing that's happened with Drag Race has advertised drag to people that never would have considered doing it before as a way of finding a power position. So when men actually look at the TV show and they think, okay, I've never been part of the straight club, so I was kicked out of that one. Then I went to the gay club and I wasn't part of the gay club because I didn't look like the stereotype of a porn star, whatever that routine is. And they think, okay, so now I can get that power if I adopt this style of art. And some of these queens go off and be amazing drag queens, but they've come in with that energy that's kind of like, it's a masculine thing. It's like trying to reach a masculine position. It's like becoming the CEO of a boardroom. And they're very scared of actually saying how they got that power. And a lot of the time, they got it from trans people. And so many drag queens that I've met and I spoke to before they were drag queens, who I know personally, have gone onto the show and their characters have changed. And they've become less it's almost like the fame has gone to their head, but I wouldn't even describe it as fame. It's like the fear of their power being taken away have stopped them crediting people that they should have. And that's the reason why I find it a little bit difficult. And you do get people like on the seasons nowadays that are more motherly, and they definitely operate in more of a female way. But there are definitely an overwhelming amount of men that act like men who are doing drag from a different perspective, and it's lost the balance. So instead of like embracing it as an art form, which I've always considered myself to be a part of, although I don't consider myself a performer, I now feel that I've been very... I want to separate myself from it because it reminds me so much of those male-driven sports, and it's a bit of a weird ego trip for some people, and I just don't like it. I find it really, really negative. I don't think it's a productive way of going forwards, and I don't know why, but Ru has not really stepped in and kind of directed the ship back to that middle ground. It's kind of stuck at that kind of competitive side of things, which from what I understood from behind the scenes, I thought that was the whole reason he didn't want to do a reality show in the start, because he was offered to do a reality show before. Out of the people there today, I really, really like Blair. I knew of her kind of stuff on the come up because she followed my things. I knew Cameron because he was following my stuff as well. I knew Asia. I don't think she followed my stuff, but I was very aware of her artistic brilliance because I thought she was really great. And I knew Aquaria. So I think out of the finals, I would really like Asia to win. Who are your biggest idols? God, that's a hard one. I think like Pete Burns is a very big idol of mine. I love brilliant thinkers. I don't know. I think I've kept it really clear in my last videos by who I've chosen to pay tribute to, from Grace Jones to Candy Darling to Pete Burns, as I said. And yeah, I think I show that more than speak about it in my videos, but it's all there for you guys to see. If you guys are wondering where I get my inspiration from, I also break it down on my website. My website's at josephharwood.com. You can click on my style links and see what my inspirations are. They're going to be renovated next. And we're going to go off to do travel, as well as looking at all my vegan recipes that are online as well. Okay. Bob Brzezowski says, you talked about some series you should be in. What kind of series? So he was actually referencing what we were discussing in the live stream. So I've been really, really excited to go into different areas. Now, when I spoke to the Baron about coming back to YouTube, and I thought, well, now I can see, I can do makeup again. What do I want to do? Do I want to keep doing the same kind of makeup tutorials that I've already got? I think the ones I've done are great. I don't want to rehash them. I like them as they are. I also want to do new ideas, but I don't want to do new ideas to then get pilfered by some silly boy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to have ownership of what I create. So I put my makeup ideas in my book Agitprop, and I really want to turn that into a little project where I can go in and exhibit. And I was talking to my friend Daniel Lismore, who's just released a book, and went off to an exhibit because he's a fantastic artist. And he was giving me some advice about that, which I'm intrigued about. But I think the way I want to go forwards is to shoot a mini autobiographical film trailer, have the exhibit of the pictures in the book, and then the book will be sold at the exhibit around the world. That's pretty much the direction I want to go in with that. But I also want to do things with my YouTube that's going to be stimulating for me. So the things that I've chosen to go forwards with have been cooking. Now, I've done vegan recipes now and again in my blogs for years, but what I wanted to do is share with you guys what I love to cook, and it's one of my biggest passions and I love doing it. And I've done about 30 recipes online. I've got 7 or 8 more that I've just posted the pictures of. They're not written up yet because I want to break from it. And then from cooking, I then want to go off and do travel. So I think that my whole ambition with YouTube now is to not continue with the makeup side of things, which I'll do bits and bobs, but I want to focus on an area that's never been done by an LGBTQ blogger before, and that would be travel and lifestyle. So I want to just try something new, and I'm really excited to be partnering up with Cottages and Superbreak. In addition to this, I'm also going to be doing a thing in Brazil at the end of the year. So I'm going to be doing some European and UK-based reviews to start with, and then going overseas and doing more reviews of packages and things like that. And on the journey, I really want to focus on a series about conservation. So I would love to talk about animals, and I would love to go to different places and see how the pollution's keeping things going, and talk about local ecosystems and see how the people are actually being paid and stuff. So I want to go and investigate this as a series, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. The last part of this that I really want to mention is I'm now partnering with Auto Trader. Now, I've been working on this for nearly 7 months now, and we're going to be doing a series called Joseph Drives Us Crazy. I think it's aptly named. And we're going to be learning to drive, because I can't drive, and we're going to be doing this in their new cars. So I will end up showing that as an individual series here too, but just trying new stuff. Like, why the hell not? Why should I be restricted when I see all the girls and the guys doing these amazing campaigns? I want to do them too. So that is what I'm doing. What advice do you give to people that want to start a career in makeup? Okay, so this question I've been asked before, and I think I've given you a bit of a blueprint on this, but I think because the times have changed, one question I get all the time on Instagram, which drives me up the wall, because I think it's such a stupid question, not to call the person asking it stupid, just the whole mindset behind it is stupid. It's, how do you become popular on social media, and how do you build up this? Now, granted, my blogs and my old blog, my Perfect Androgyny blog, and this blog together have had 40 million views as of last month. It's an incredible achievement. I do appreciate it. But the ambition was never to be on YouTube. I actually really resented it when I started. I remember, like, I felt like I was being pushed into a corner to do it, because as much as I kept saying to people, stop jacking my stuff, stop doing this, because one day I'm going to come on and I'm going to do it and I'll show you how it's meant to be done, and it's going to highlight what a fool you are by doing that. I really want you guys to get this understanding that social media is a symptom of a successful career, and it's nothing to do with the outcome. Like, your outcome should never be about having a social media account. I want you guys to not aim for that in the social media side of it, but to actually have a full-rounded resume. All these people, especially the LGBTQ ones, seem to be infatuated with this idea of aiming for mediocrity. Like, why? I don't get it. I don't understand why anyone would aspire to be someone with 10 million people on Instagram, but they wouldn't aspire to actually be a billionaire that's not on Instagram. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I really do not get it. So, it's a very funny world we live in at the moment. It's a very kind of like, I feel like the emperor's new clothes to a lot, and I feel like I'm the kid pointing out the bitches naked all the time. So what I've tried to do in my social media is I've cut down on talking about this, and I'm just gonna say it once or twice in videos and call it a day, because you guys need to get with the program. Your ambitions are too low. You need to aim for bigger and better things than just doing a makeup channel on YouTube. Like, think about the amazing things you can do with that amount of talent. Like, Jesus Christ, that's the limit of what you want? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. So I really recommend with you guys that you need to do multi things at once. You need to build up not just your social media account, which is a useful tool to start. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing it, because I've done very well with it, but keep that as something that should be in the background of your master plan. Like, think about what you want to achieve in life, and then go off and get your education. Get some validation, and you don't need to go through the whole course or end up with 1 million degrees, but to be in that constant environment where you're learning discipline, where you're learning to research new things, you're pushed out of your comfort zone, that's going to build you up. Then on top of that, you can obviously get a job in the area that pays your bills, something like working in a retail situation. And there are loads of things I can say about that. So there's a brilliant new tool called Value My CV, which is brilliant, and I'll link that in the description below. So Value My CV is actually created by Adzuna. Adzuna is a search engine, and it basically finds all the jobs through different categories and is a fantastic way of narrowing your search. I do understand how hard it is. Wages are not where they should be. Living costs are pretty high at the moment. There's obviously a lot of inequality. Women are paid less than men still, statistically. And then on top of that, being LGBTQ is another thing to actually think about. So align yourself with the tools that can actually give you the best option moving forwards. Adzuna is the fastest growing job search engine. It's brilliant. It's particularly great if you're from my kind of age group, when you're from your teens to your 20s, and you really want to find that position that's going to be the backbone to your creative career, something that you can actually get a routine in, that you can actually get paid like a routine amount in. You're not going to just be working client by client, which is hell on high heels at times. So it really is a tool to improve your CV, to get you ready for that interview and that perfect job. And you get that inspiration from all the millions of jobs on the site already. So I'm going to put that in the links below for you guys to check out, and it's definitely a tool to use. Adzuna is the best place at the moment to find new jobs because it does combine everything. It's the fastest growing in the UK, and I think it'd be perfect for you guys to check out. So I'll pop that all in the links below. Last question of the day is, let's talk about makeup. As I said today, I wanted to do a kind of Madonna-inspired look. And I like her looks where she has the bleach blonde hair and then the dark brows. And I wanted to wear Huda on the lips, which is a kind of blue-red velvet. Now, I've got a gold kind of like highlight on my cheeks. I love, 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 love the look of this in daylight. It's looking a bit glossy on camera, but what's wrong with glossy? I quite like a glossy look. Just a simple tie and chat. Now, this wig is actually from Donna Love Hair or something, and they asked to send me a wig, and it arrived, and I was like, this is such a shit quality wig. There was just like so much wrong with the silly wig, and it was not the one to do. So what I've done is I've actually replaced the closure, and I've put some beige in it so it's not as brassy looking, and it was just a really difficult wig to wear. It was, sometimes what they do with the factory made wigs is they don't measure the amount of hair they put through. So if you imagine like they're tying a long piece of hair, normally you have it so long that both sides, once you knot it, are long enough to blend in, but it was like they put that much of the short hair through the top, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. So I could do a wig update video if you guys want. Let me know in the links below. Alright guys, well I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. If you have any questions below, you've got any thoughts about what I said today, please actually let me know as well in the comments below. Check out Adzuna and value my CV in the links below. Upload your CVs and let me know how you get on trying to find your perfect job. Just think about it like an ambition that you have to work strategically for, and you won't go wrong. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.